So is the Fuji X100VI a good camera for portraits and fashion photography? Let's find out. What is up, guys? Welcome back to Once Upon a Time, and in today's video we're going to be talking about the Fujifilm X100VI. This little baby right here is incredible, and we're going to show you how it does with portraits and fashion photography. And I thought the best way for me to show you this is to do it in a natural lighting situation in a studio here in New York City. Now, if you're watching this video, you more than likely either have this camera or are looking into getting this camera, and maybe you see a lot of people doing landscape photography instead of portrait photography. I'm a portrait photographer, and there's many videos I've done on this camera doing portrait photography, so if you want to check those out, they're linked down below. And a little disclaimer before we get into this video, I am extremely sick, so if you hear me talking nasally or just, my voice is awful, I feel like shit, and it's raining outside. Not a great situation to be in for a photo shoot, but we're gonna make do with it. So let's get into it. I'll introduce you to our model now. What is up, guys? I'm here today with our model. Why don't you introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit about yourself, what you like, what you don't like, and what the vibe is today for the shoot.
Hello everybody, my name is Jay Don. I'm glad that I get to style. I'm not gonna lie. One thing I don't like is when I have a shoot and it's like a test thing, just like a random thing, but I'm not a part of the creative process. I do like to be a part of that.
They just have you wearing whatever.
Yeah, so, and it's like give or take. If the stylist is like a proper stylist, it'll be good, but sometimes they're not.
Exactly. So we're doing a test shoot and we're gonna kind of go for just aesthetics, make it look good, make it look sexy, keeping it fresh. And here's his Instagram if you guys want to follow, and we'll see you guys on the flip. Let's do it. Let's start off with what I think makes this camera the best camera I've ever had, and that is that it encourages simplicity. You see, when I was growing up and in the past 10 years of me doing photography, I used to always shoot Sony. I had the Sony body with 4 lenses, 16, 24, 35, 50 millimeter, up to 300 millimeters at one point. And I was carrying all this stuff around with the battery and the handle grips, and it just became so annoying to shoot, it almost took the fun out of it. But what's really cool about this camera, especially in fashion, is that I can get all the variety shots I need with this 28, which crop becomes 35 millimeter lens, and it is just incredible. I'm getting all the quality I need as well as the freedom to move as I please. It's got to the point where people really question whether I'm actually using this camera for the shoot because it is so small. It is just a fantastic, simple camera. Now we're gonna be playing around with the chair here. You gotta always play around with your little things, your objects. Another thing that I simply love about this camera is how tactile it is. It almost makes you take your time when you're taking your photos, right? Because I remember when I shot film, I would be very specific about the types of shots that I was doing and making sure that I'm not wasting my film. And it almost feels the same here, but you have the capabilities of it being a digital camera. So you can play around as much as you want, but it also feels more like an actual camera, like an actual item that's heavy and hefty, and it's just great to use. Now, I cannot make a Fuji video and not talk about the recipes. Recipes are the bread and butter of this camera. I thought it was a gimmick at first, I'm not gonna lie. Coming from Sony, hearing all my Fuji friends being like, oh, but the Fuji colors and this and that, and I just didn't get it until I got the camera. And it is so crazy because you can visualize your photos before actually getting to the editing bay, All the colors, all the skin tones, the highlights, the shadows, the grain, you can edit everything to make your photo as cool or as close as you want to the final product before you even get to the editing bay. A lot of times these photos are just straight out of my camera and I just post them, and it is just incredible how good they look. Nice. You can see how sick it looks. All right. Now, this camera has the most fantastic skin tones that I have ever seen. I don't want to sound like I'm glazing this camera, but it has just changed the way I edit for sure. I used to be very hardcore into retouching skin and going crazy on all the edits. However, this camera has kind of made me slow down on that and be able to appreciate skin because the skin just looks that good. I mean, I still go in and I remove blemishes, etc. But the fact that this camera captures the highlights to the shadows in such a smooth way just automatically makes it a fantastic portrait camera for everybody. All right, guys, so for this next shot, I want to try something interesting. We have this little panel glass here that's kind of foggy. So I want to put him against it, smush his face or just behind it and see how it looks. I think we could get some really interesting textures, which is something that the camera is great with. It just shows textures really nicely through. So we're gonna try some stuff here. Now let's talk about close-ups and details. This camera has changed the way I take photos. The way that it just captures texture, details in the skin, pores in the skin,
Tactile, anything that has to do with fashion, clothing, skin, it is just able to capture it in such a beautiful way. I'm not sure exactly what the millimeter is of how close you can get to a subject before it is out of focus, but this camera can get really close, and even if you can't get all the way close to where you want it, if you crop, you can get more than close enough, especially with the megapixel count. So overall, this camera is just fantastic. I am in love with it. I don't want to sound like a fanboy, but I'm slowly becoming a Fuji guy, and I never thought I'd say that, but it is a fantastic camera, and I definitely think that it is made for portraits and not only landscape. It can be used professionally, it can be used as a hobby thing, it can be used for whatever you want as long as you learn how to use it, its recipes, and I still have a long way to go, but I am super happy with this camera so far.
All right, guys, so that was it for the video. I hope you enjoyed the photos. I hope you enjoyed the model. And all right, guys, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe. Make sure to follow Jadon on Instagram or whatever his social medias are. They'll be right here. Next time I see you, I will be fighting a polar bear on top of the skyscraper. Any of them. All right, see ya. Thank you guys so much for watching that video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please hit the like button, subscribe, and I just want to say thank you for 2,500 subscribers. It means the world to me. We're building a little community here. I see a lot of you guys interacting with each other, which is great. So if you have any questions or you just want to talk more, feel free to DM me on Instagram or just comment down below and it'll be great. And another quick thing, I know you guys have been asking me about recipes. I am working on a video about recipes. I'm just testing them all out before I put it out because I don't want to just put something out there that everybody said before. So I'm just making sure it's something good so that you guys appreciate it. Anyways, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you on the flippity 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 flip.